Want to talk about the Gemini super new moon today?
Oh, that thing killed me.
Listen, thank goodness you resurrected because I really needed you to be okay.
I almost
I
didn't make it.
I cannot believe I always do this, right? I will tell everybody it's going to be like this and you're going to feel this. And then when it happens to me, I'm like collapsing and like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, and I knew, but it has been. So the whole reason it's a super new moon is that it's closest to the Earth, right? And I can really feel it. So today, so first of all, up at 3, no sleep, like
Yeah.
what? Like crazy, and properly awake, like ready to go, but so deeply emotional and just feeling really almost like oppressed. At one point, I was like driving along and I was like, maybe if I just cry, I'll feel better. But of course, I couldn't cry. I don't have anything to cry about. But it was that kind of feeling where it was like, how do I release these intense emotions? And then I was like, oh gosh, of course, this new moon is right on my Saturn in Gemini. It's like 4 degrees out, so it's conjunct. And like obviously Saturn is like it's a malefic planet, so it's a very dark and like restrictive energy. And I was like, this is not what I need today. Like, I've got shit to do. Like, hello. And I was like, yeah, here come the deep, dark, intense conversations,
Yep.
right? Because for me, Saturn in Gemini. But this super new moon is really quite heavy.
Yeah, it's had me up at 2:30 instead of my normal 3:30, but and so
No, hold on. Your
agitated.
normal is 3:30.
I go
Wow,
to
I
I go to bed at
complain
like
about being up
6:30 or
at
7, so
3:30. But yeah, go on.
it's had me so agitated. Like I woke up pissed off at the world
Yeah.
yesterday, the end the day before.
Hmm.
And there was no getting out of it. And hello, like reflector here, so I'm ruled by the moon.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
intense. It's so intense.
And this is 7th house for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your how are your thought processes around the whether it be like conversations, like coaching, offers around relationships? How's that coming?
Outside of the full moon or the new moon?
No, with that energy, like
Oh,
the
no, I
past
was ready
couple
to
of
quit, yes.
days.
I was ready to quit this weekend. It's like, "Forget it. This is stupid.
I'm
I'm
not
just
doing
gonna
it.
go bake bread and be
Take
happy."
this shit.
Yeah. Fucking
Well,
people.
baking bread is a good way of using the energy because you're using your hands, right? Very Gemini. But by the end of this week, you'll have a revelation. You'll have a
It
breakthrough.
it was better today already, like, I can feel
Yeah.
a difference today, so
Yeah.
and I
Wild.
know,
What?
like, there's something that happens in the summer months for me where the new moon just kills me. Like, I am so grumpy through it every single month until later fall.
Really?
Yeah, it's
See, I'm quite good in summer, but this particular new moon, I've been quite grumpy. Like so tenderly sensitive and like road ragey, all of it. Yeah. Yeah. So what about you, Monet? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really great. I had a revelation and with the offer, and I just feel pretty pissed that again another iteration, but super excited that it's really starting to make sense to me. Yeah,
So the opposite then. But what is this? Is this 11th house for you? I think it's 11th
no,
house.
no
So it's
idea.
like,
How would you know?
I know
You
your
know,
chart.
No, when she says it, I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's it."
it
Sounds about
sounded like
right.
you knew
No
exactly what
flipping
she was
idea.
saying, and I was like, I have
Yeah.
no idea.
So
Yeah.
this is interesting because 11th house is like friends, networks, communities. It can be offers. Um, but again, what would I say? maybe a slightly broader conversation for you, as opposed to, so like Gemini in the 7th house, it's more one-to-one conversations. For me, it's in my 2nd house of like self-worth and value and money and all of these things. So I went shopping. Like, how do I solve my problem? I'll buy something. But I did get a really good deal. But yeah, so 11th house, friendships, networks, communities, technology. So follow the revelation, follow the breakthrough. I'm waiting for mine to land. But Uranus is in Gemini, so everything's more intense there. So it is going to be pretty, it's going to be pretty rough going for a lot of people. So it'll be interesting to hear how people are getting on. But yeah, so definitely think that this super new moon energy is very relevant. But we were having a little conversation before we went live, and we were talking about the skipped step, and that it is bringing up different things for people, and there's quite a bit of a conversation going on. So today, the enrollment for Decode Your Offer starts officially, but there are a few members who had already joined the challenge, and so as a result had been given access to the preparation tab in the app. And the thing that is in the preparation is everybody being able to figure out what their skipped step is. And the challenge is based on the skipped step. So it's the thing that you don't know, that feels like a pattern, that feels like, oh, that's just how I am. And a lot of us have a skipped step. And in evolutionary astrology, the skipped step usually happens when, for example, a planet squares the nodes, like the North Node, South Node axis, creates a T square. But in other cases, it can just be that planetary placement that we try and skip over in order to get to our North Node, which is our destined purpose point. And for a lot of us, it is that pattern. Sometimes it's karmic, but a lot of times it's that pattern that we just don't want to work through. It could be a memory, it could be a trauma, it could be a wound, it could just be something from a past life, and we just keep trying to go around it. And of course, if we don't work through the steps that our soul needs to work through to evolve, we'll inevitably hit a wall and we'll loop right back to the beginning. So think of it, I always think of like snakes and ladders. You think you're going great guns, you've gone up a couple of ladders, then you hit the big snake and you're all the way back down to step one, which is what everyone's most afraid of. But it's almost like, forget the ladders, just go step by step and just stop looking for the elevator, the shortcut, take the stairs. Because once we go through all the steps, we learn certain things. We go through those hard things, those challenging things that we want to avoid. But we need those experiences. We need that knowledge and understanding. We need that extra layer of knowing to be able to arrive at our purpose point fully equipped and ready to take on whatever the duty, the dharma, or the mission is. So a few people have been discovering their skipped step over the weekend, past few days, and it's just throwing up loads of questions, which of course I didn't expect it. I thought, this is great, everybody will learn their skipped step, they'll journal around it a little bit, and they'll come to the challenge all ready to go. So I'm really happy that I released the prep early so that we can have these conversations and gain a deeper understanding. But it makes sense because it's what you don't know, right? So why would it just land and be like, of course, I just need to do this and off we go? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think it's even more than that, right? I don't know that I didn't know it. I think it was something that Mornay said the other day when I was listening to you guys talk about, I knew it, but I didn't understand the effect it was having downstream,
Mm.
right? I thought it was just
Wow.
shadowy stuff, right? Because if I stay in this building mode and I keep adding things, then I never have to sell because I don't like to sell, right?
Right.
It didn't connect with me that it was so deeply ingrained, I guess, as
Mm.
a pattern, and that I was actually skipping the most important part, right? The middle part of building an offer, but also in how I communicate with the client that I'm trying to attract. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping to here's okay, we recognize the problem, right? She knows what it is, and then I say, okay, well, here's my insight. I never
Right.
talked to her about what she's experiencing.
Mm.
So it's like that big leapfrog over the most important part that she
Yeah.
needs from a
Yeah.
recognition standpoint, right? And to want to enter into a conversation with me versus
Yeah.
me just telling her, okay, well, here's what to do.
So can you give us an
Mm.
example, just like for context?
Um, so, okay, like I'm currently talking about betrayal and what happens in that and how women get stuck, right? And they think that the problem was what he did to them, right? Or what they
Mhm.
did to him, however it plays out. And there's a feeling there of, I should have known better because I'm a
Yeah.
smart, intelligent woman. How did this happen to me? Right?
Yeah.
Which takes it off of the event and it puts it in an identity standpoint. And
Yeah.
I would normally skip that conversation and go right to, well, let me show you how this plays out in all of the areas of your life and why it became possible for it to happen, right? Instead of, okay, let's sit in this and let her come to her own conclusions, right? I think
Right.
about like when we lead people to water, but let them make the connection, that's when it becomes really solid for them and it becomes an embodied thing versus they can read my insight and go, yeah, that's probably true. But the work never gets done. It's just more awareness. It's just freaking personal development, right? It's just awareness on top of awareness
Yeah.
versus giving her the space to really integrate and understand it all.
Yeah. Yeah. So typically for you, when you get to that point where she's about to go deep and really explore, are you aware of what happens in your like thought process or your desires? Like, what is it that actually happens with you?
Well, I think it's part of my reflectorness, right? I'm already way ahead because I can
Right.
already see the
Yeah.
perpetuation of it, like what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to ward that off. I'm trying to save her from the pain of the journey to get there by
Hmm.
skipping that messy middle part. I think in my brain, I'm being helpful, but
Yeah.
I'm not really being
Yeah.
helpful, right?
Yeah. But do you think that's a conscious thing where you're like, you don't need to hang around here. Let me help you get to the other side really quickly. It's
Yeah,
not
I
really
don't think it's
conscious.
uh
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it is in
Definitely a
retrospect,
skip
but it's
step.
never in the moment.
It is now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's definitely a skip
Yeah.
step, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not a conscious thought process where you're like, we're spending too much time in the mud. Let me pull her out and get her to dry land to a solid point. You're just like, I know where you need to go.
Right,
Let me airlift you over
right.
to this point.
Mhm.
Right.
'Cause
So,
I've already been there, so I know all the
right,
tracks. I'm like, "Oh, I got
right,
this. Come on, jump on, and I'll carry
right.
you over."
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's just like with our kids, right? When we try to save them from pain and experiences, we're not
yeah,
really helping them.
yeah. So I think and I need to like look at your chart properly. So I think your skip step planet might be your moon. I don't know. But the reason I say that is because it sounds like what you're doing is you're skipping the depth of emotional work that needs to be done. And so that means that you don't have to get into deep emotion with your client and go there. And so what you're doing is you're trying to go wide rather than go deep. So you're like, let me show you all the ways that we can solve this one problem. We can do A, B, C, D, and even get to Z. I know how to do that. But what I won't do with you, and this is like why it's unconscious, is I will not get into that deep emotional place with you, because that means that I'm going to have to potentially relive some of my stuff. I'm going to have to hold you in difficult emotion. I don't know if I want to do that or if I can do that. And then I'm going to have to run the risk of not being able to help you get out of that deep, dark emotion. And maybe both of us end up in this like well with no rope, no help, there's nobody around for miles. And how do we then get out of it? So it's so much, it feels more compassionate even to say, let me just show you, don't fall into the well, there's a trap. Let me show you this path A, B, C. We can do this, we can write about it, we can talk about it, we can dance about it, we can go for a spa day. Anything but really sit with those emotions and go deeper and deeper and deeper. So it could be your moon, which I know is in Taurus, which makes even more sense as to why you're potentially avoiding parts of this betrayal work, right? The relationship part, but also absolutely must do betrayal as far as relationships, because with a Taurus moon, it's very similar to a Capricorn moon. And I happen to know that I think it's in your 6th house, which is even making more sense to me. You'll work your way out of it. But I'm not going to wallow in emotion. Work will always save the day.
That
Said
it will.
Sherile, always. Right? So before we sink into the mire of emotion, we'll work on it. Let's do some work. 6th house is like mundane. It's like the daily work. It's the Virgo energy. Is it 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not as intense then. But it's like that Taurus energy, that Taurus moon. If it is that, I'm just like picking up the emotional skip step, is that Taurus just wants to steadily get along. Can we just keep it moving already? Like, we're not a water sign. Hey, we're an earth sign. Keep it practical, keep it all above board. Yes. I'll let you embody a little bit of it, but can we just steadily keep moving?
Which is exactly what I did, right? When my marriage ended, I decided I'm going to build a career from the ground up. And like I had blinders on for 15 years. And I look up one day and I'm like, wait a minute, my kids are all grown and out of the house and I'm still working like this. Like, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah, what for?
Yeah. But that was how I processed it.
Right? Yeah. And so that skipped step, let's say that it is the moon, and I will clarify that at some point. What that skip step is actually asking you to do then is to go back to all of those times where you completely avoided the emotional fallout. And the opportunity for you is your clients, right? So you have these clients that are coming and reflecting back to you. And it's so interesting because you are the reflector, you are ruled by the moon, and your moon is exalted in your chart, right? Taurus moon. And what you're inadvertently doing, and just bear with me on this, is you're allowing everybody else to carry your emotion, and then you'll do the work for them. So your exchange is, you come into my practice, you deal with all the emotional stuff, I'll do the work stuff. Deal? And you can't offload your emotional work to anybody else, right? Because it's still there. And now it's showing up in other ways, right? So it's going to be leaking out in certain conversations, in certain habits, certain ways, because we can't avoid the emotional work. And eventually there'll be a crash out where you're just taken down by emotions, or like there's some kind of Pluto transit that is just like taking you down into the underworld. And now all of the shadows are colluding to keep you down there. But the actual opportunity in your work, the offer, is to go deep with your clients. You be the guide, you accompany them. You go first, in fact, right? You're Sad Rising, you are the teacher. And what that means is not only do you share what's happening to them and how they get out of it, but you share the experience. It's a field trip. You don't send the kids on a bus, you go with them, right? So if they're climbing a mountain, you go first. If they're going in a ditch, you go first. And allow yourself to stay with them in the emotion and then see what comes up for you, right? Because the work is always reciprocal.
Right.
And you're like, this is how I keep myself together.
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because in my one-on-one practice, that's exactly what happens. But on the front end, the selling end, right, of, okay, now that it's all dangerous strangers, that's when it gets withheld.
Yeah.
So
So on the selling end, yes, it's dangerous strangers, but here's how you make sure you attract the right strangers or the new friends. Let's even change the language, is you speak to that very specific experience, right? You tell them that you recognize them, that you see them, that their emotions are already being reflected, right? With you, by you, whatever. And you name the experience, because that way it only connects with who it's supposed to connect with. But when you have these work terms, the vague paths and the wide work terms, a ton of people are coming, some are tire kickers, some are looking under the hood, and others are misinterpreting the work. And then they either fall off or they just don't even buy, right? Whereas if you can speak to, not, oh, he betrayed you when he cheated. No, it's like the kitchen floor, 3 a.m., right? Your whole world is collapsing, and yet you want to stay.
Yeah.
Right? A little poetic, that was. That was a little bit poetic. Yeah, quite like that off the dome. But do you understand? And who knows, and who feels that, right? Because now we're talking about the conflict of betrayal in relationships. And we're not judging, and we're not saying you should or you shouldn't. We're just letting you know we feel that bathroom floor, kitchen floor moment. You dried up all the tears, they're all out there, but yet you're trying to figure out how you can stay. Right? We don't have to say, you deal with betrayal in your marriage, or we don't have to say those words.
Right.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So you'll be surprised to know Ask Sherile made me name it today, like you just said. So we came,
I'm so proud of her.
We came to the conclusion that she is the woman who knows better, right? Because she, and that's why she can't fix it alone. but she's afraid to ask for help.
Oh,
That's
so
my
she's ego driven.
hello.
You know what you're going to have to do now, aren't you? You're going to have to speak to all the Leo placements, right? Maybe the Aries and Sagittarius, right? The fire signs. And the way you do that is you start speaking about you've never had to ask for help before, right? You've always known the right thing to do, or you've always figured out the next best step. Very Leo, very Sag Aries, where even though Virgo's like hyper independent, that fire energy is like, I'll figure it out, I'll get on with it. Like, it's the ego play of, I don't need any help. Like, almost, I don't want to be embarrassed or like shamed for what's happened. Let me just get on with it really quickly before anybody else notices.
And
right?
that's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
how can
So
I?
when you know that, right, you know who she is. Now the work is to peel back the skin and speak to her deepest, darkest thoughts and those hidden emotions again. And that's the game. That's the play, right? Is to be like, so like my Venus is in Leo, right? I'm ruled by Taurus. Venus is my ruling planet. I very rarely ask for help, right? Like, people will say things to me like, you know, that I'm a lot closer. You could have asked me to just pick that up. I will drive 3 hours when somebody could drive an hour. It doesn't even occur to me. And it's not like I don't want to inconvenience people. It's just that way of, let me just get this done. It'll be done properly. I'll know exactly what to do if something goes wrong. I don't want to have, right? It's that. And I do have a Virgo stellium, but the Leo aspect is almost like, I'm the leader. I know what to do. If I can't do it, who's going to do it? That kind of energy, you know. But also we have that that fire that gives us drive, right? And makes us be like, "Oh, just get it done." Some things you're going to have to find somebody to hold you,
Right.
to help you. And it doesn't mean you don't know best or you don't know better. It just means that somebody is going to hold you there while you figure out what it is that you know better.
Right.
Yeah. I love that you know who she is. Did that resonate with what you thought before?
Yes. Yes. Because it's always the strong, independent woman that I end up working with. So it made perfect sense. And I mean, I think I was 61 and a half before I asked for help. Right. And it feels strange. It feels awkward. Especially, I'm like, do I really need help? Like, I can do this. Right. So it's the same, like, even in the building a business, it's like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, but I know what to do. So why would I pay someone to hold my hand to do what I already know what to do? And it took a long time for me to understand that it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because
So just speak to yourself then.
I know that's pretty much self-coaching.
What would convince me? What would really resonate deeply? But no, I think that's great. And I think for the skipped step, like there might be something else going on, but just starting with the depth of emotion that you do experience in the one-to-ones, it just means you take the surface level of that emotional work. That is the point, the sharpest point of your offer, right? Because you're promising, we're going to go into the emotions. We're going to uncover what you might not even know is there. And there's no guarantee, but at the other end is the release of those emotions that are holding you hostage, right? Because for people to buy from you, there has to be some pain. And I think that that's what makes people shy away from selling, right? Like, I'm a salesperson. like another one of my identities that I absolutely adore, love it. But for a lot of people, what I understand is they do not want to go back and poke that wound. They don't want to pour salt into it. They don't want to hurt people's feelings and in turn experience rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get past that and understand that people pay to ease their pain, and what you're offering is that pain relief, now you're showing up with some good news.
Right.
So you're not really selling, you're just sharing the good news, which is, I know how it feels, kitchen floor, 3 a.m. You don't want to leave, but it's whatever. Here's how we move through that and get to a place where whatever your instincts are, we make it work or whatever. That was really terrible. But the point is, like, highlight the emotion, highlight the promise, and I just happen to be the one that is offering it right now. You want it or you don't. Your pain is severe enough or it's not.
Right.
And then you narrow down, but that becomes your standout client. And they just are like, how does she even know? Yeah. But how exciting. So the other thing that keeps coming up for you is the cathedral and the doorway. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that? Let's talk about that a little bit.
You want to talk about my confusion around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of the skip step is that I overbuild, trying to cram everything she needs into the front end offer, like her very first step.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so complicated that a woman who's in that position doesn't have the capacity or the space to take on another really heavy thing. And at the same time, my chart indicates that I'm meant to build luxury, quality, very textury type of
sensual, like the
sensual
best.
things, the best
Totally.
of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain can't reconcile how a simple offer, a doorway, solves that. And I know that it's just I'm trying to do it all up front instead of allow some of it to be once you enter.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm butting up against that disconnection in my mind of, will it look nice enough, good enough on the very front end?
So a question for you. Do you think in words or pictures?
Words.
I thought so. Because in my mind, all I'm seeing is the best restaurant and the doorway, the entrance. And the look of that door, I know they have the best food on offer there, right? Or I'm coming to the door of the Savoy, right? I know the restaurants in the Savoy, but it says Savoy over the door. I just know what we get, right? So it's almost the idea that your doorway is the promise. It's just the promise, right? The promise is if you, so like, you know, this whole thing of like curb appeal, we talked about real estate. The curb appeal is it clean? Is it tidy? Is it simple? Are the adjectives luxurious? Are the words powerful? Right? So your promise has to denote Taurian features, themes, ideas. So you do use words like she knows better, she knows best. That's Taurian. You do use words like embody, very Taurian, right? So your language has to be clean, simple, but it's the power in the choice of words for that promise.
Okay.
Now, if somebody is a little bit Gemini, right? They've got a Gemini offer. It's going to be, come join me, put all your fingers in all the pies. Let's have loads of fun. Let's just talk for hours. Very Gemini. Too many words, too many ideas, too many topics. Let's just talk and talk right? We know that's a Gemini type offer. For Taurus, it's going to be a little bit less. It's going to be very deliberate. The words themselves are going to denote that Taurian quality, value, worth, and then you're going to really think about what your promise is. So if the promise is, so like for me, the promise is you will have a stunningly effective offer at the end of a 5-day challenge. That's my promise, right? Now, why would I use the word stunningly effective? Right? Because I want people to differentiate between a powerful offer or a, I don't know, recognizable offer. Like, just think about the adjectives and what those words are going to do. So I'll say something like your standout client, right? Because I want it to be so obvious who your primary client is that they stand out. So the choice of words is what creates the Taurian promise, the luxury promise, the best promise. And those words resonate with that client. So you create your promise in a way that speaks to her, to you, to me, to Monet. Actually, we've all got really powerful Taurus placements, right? So if you tell me that I'm going to get the best, you've already got my attention, right? If you're going to say to me that I promise the most effective, I don't know, 1 day, 1 week, whatever workshop to help you to, I don't know, process and embody those emotions that have been holding you back with steady, consistent, I don't know, just think of Taurus words, right? But it's like your promise should indicate what lies further down the road. And so your offer is the promise, and that should be short, sharp, sweet. That's the tester. For me, that is a psychic consultation, not even an astrology one. Most people meet me at a psychic reading. And in fact, if you look at my website, you can't even get into my group programs without doing a consultation because you won't even be invited. So you can have an exclusivity element. That's very Taurus, right? So if you say, do my mini discovery call or my mini consultation, let's talk about where you're at. And once you've done that, you might be invited into my exclusive, whatever the next step is. So you can create that feeling, that sensual, that high level, best of experience with your words, but also the way in which you structure your offer. So nobody can go to my website and book coaching. You won't get in. There's not even any way to do it. I assess everybody that I work with on a deeper level. And if I'm sharing a certain offer, you may have noticed that you'll get a personal invitation often, right? So I know who my clients are. Maybe I don't have enough, but the ones that I know align with certain offers come to mind immediately, right? So they will get a personal invitation, and that's on purpose. That is not like, oh, let me just like invite a couple of people. That is like, I know this will help her, him, them for this reason.
Yeah,
So that is like quite exclusive, you know? So invitation only, exclusivity is a great way to add that. But your promise, use Taurian words to create that. And that just invites certain people to your initial, very short, sharp, sweet offer. And from there, and also try and price it in a way that gives you numbers so that you can hand select and invite certain people to the next stage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the doorway is the entrance to Gordon Ramsay's latest restaurant. Keep using Gordon Ramsay like I don't know any other chefs or restaurants. I do. I actually do. But it just came to mind. But yeah, so it's like the promise is that door, literally. What does it look like? What color is it painted? How's it decorated? Is it like gold lettering? Is it like a brass knocker? Right? It's that whole thing that people want to get in through that door. Okay. So your door is your promise. The cathedral that you're always building, break it down. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a whole cathedral. It might be a series of small buildings. Yeah. Or by invitation only, exclusivity, small numbers, keep it very, yeah. And that's also, I need to have a look at your chart about pricing, but that's also a great way for you to have higher prices, fewer clients, but deeper work. Because your work's deep.
Yeah. Ask Sherile had some commentary around the pricing.
Have you already gone there?
Yes.
Lois, you're like a star student. You're like, I've done all my homework, miss, like 3 weeks ahead. Okay. So what did it say about pricing?
That I was way too low. So we're in negotiations right now.
I get it. But it is because if you're going to do deeper work and hold people there, you can't have as many clients and be as effective as you want to be. People have to pay more, but you're valuing the transformation, not based on your money story or what feels comfortable for you.
Well, and to be honest, I was pricing to Substack standards, basically, versus what?
What are Substack standards?
Well, like the paid tiers are $9, $10, $7.
Right.
And I more than doubled that and thought, oh gosh, this is going to be hard. And yeah, Ash Sherile was like, please, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Get over it. That's not even close.
Your price reflects the exclusivity, the quality. Taurus is expensive. Taurus likes nice things.
Right.
And if it's what she needs and what she wants, she'll pay for it. Listen, I don't know why I'm preaching to you two because you're both Taurus women. You want something that is of high quality and value, you go and find the money. You be like, I need to drive this. I need to wear this. I need to eat this. I need to whatever. You might look for a bargain like I always do, but you're not going to look for a bargain on junk. You're going to look for a bargain on the best quality thing you can get. That's who you're selling to. Venus and Moon in Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I think that is really insightful. Does that now make a little bit more sense, or does that kind of like connect the dots for you?
Yeah, it definitely connected the dots and just trying to reconcile what felt like opposite things in my brain.
Lauren, you can't put my business on blast like that. Hi. Yeah. That was my Gemini super new moon shopping trip. It was so weird. It was such a weird thing. I'll talk about it in a bit. But I literally got designer sunglasses, buy one, get one, 40% off. And I was like, of course. And they were all, I was at an outlet, so they were already cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one's 40% off. And I was like, so that's very Taurus with a Virgo stellium, right?
It'd be irresponsible of you not to have done it.
I mean, cost per wear on shades for me. I think the only place I don't wear shades is on Zoom calls and Substack lives. Like, so, but yeah, so it's like, yeah, I think that makes a bit more sense. But the doorway in the cathedral is like that. It's almost like fearful behavior to throw the kitchen sink at people, like with your promise, right? The promise is transformation. Get to the real sharp point of it. What is the thing? Almost like, what's your hook, as in hooking a fish? What is it? What is holding her up? What is causing her pain? It's not the betrayal, it's the emotions, the emotional pain that the betrayal has caused.
Yeah, it's what she's making it mean about her.
No, it's not what she's making it mean about her. Go simpler. Before that, before she starts trying to make sense of it,
Well, it's what I said before. It's how could this have happened to me? Right?
but before that's when she's making sense of it. That's when she's processing it. Before that, like, just run through a scenario in your mind. Let's do a quick scenario. Married 10 years, he cheats with the neighbor down the road. She knocks on your front door. It's all out there. It's obvious that she's not lying. You're now in this marriage, maybe with 2, 3 children, devastated, but bought a house together, you're raising kids together. Everyone's going to tell you to leave, but you still love him. You still want your family. You're still like in the whole scenario, right? What is the first thing that hits that woman in that knowing of the betrayal?
Shame.
Yeah. The shame, because it's your neighbor down the road that, oh my God, like, so here's a really good point, right? And this is why you just hit the nail on the head. A lot of women stay when it's hidden, and a lot of like celebrity marriages end when it's in the public and there's proof. That's when women leave, when it's embarrassing, when they can't hide it, when it's now public knowledge, and you got to walk past the woman he's cheating with because she's the neighbor down the road. Oh my God. Now all the neighbors are talking about you. How can you stay? And that emotion, a lot of people can't name. So when you name it for them, right, that's the promise. I feel your shame. Not even I feel your pain. I feel your shame. And yet you want to stay. How? How do you get to stay? How do you get back to pre-shame? How? Just like, right? So the whole promise for that woman is that you're going to help her deal with that shame. Whatever the outcome, because you're not here to say stay, leave, do this, do that. You're here to help her process that. That's the breaking point for her. That's the pain that she cannot shake on her own. And the same thing happens if the betrayal is financial, career, right? Somebody at work goes and tells your boss something. Now you're getting a disciplinary or maybe losing your job, right? It's the same energy, right? Of the betrayal is like, oh my God. Like, so if you see like politicians or like high level business people exposed, they're in the papers, there's a documentary, no one cares about the truth, they've been shamed.
Yeah.
Right? So what your promise is helping them navigate that. because that's the actual pain. Like, she can punish him at home all day long. Who cares? Like, no more nice dinners, no sex for a bit unless I want to. Take me shopping, punish, punish, punish. If it's private. Now it's public. Oh, whole different ballgame. How can she hold her head up in the school playground? Oh my gosh. What? It's the shame. So this is what makes it difficult for people to understand the hook, right? They do exactly what you just did. They go into the deep thought process, but the pointy end, the sharp end, is the first thing, the place where you meet them. It's the pain. So you see what you did there? That was brilliant.
Skipped.
Yeah. Now you've just got to keep doing it over and over again. Yeah. And now the work is to play with the words around the shame, the embarrassment, the public humiliation. And in that case, for your client, I'd probably use humiliation, right? Because she's humiliated. Oh my, like, I can feel it. I can feel it right now. It's humiliating. This is Nicole Kidman. This is like all the celebrity wives who walk away because now it's public knowledge. He's been spotted, there's pictures, and vice versa. Like the husband, where it's usually J-Lo, right? And it's she's with this guy, she's with that guy. I don't know why it's always J-Lo, but it just is. But it's the public humiliation that is actually causing the most pain. She knows her husband. She knows he's got a wandering eye. But the neighbour, don't shit on your own doorstep, right? There's rules around this stuff. He broke the ultimate rule.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Because you're making me flash back through my whole experience. And my ex-husband cheated several times, but with his boss. And the only thing that went through my mind when the last one, the straw that broke the camel's back, was how many Christmas parties did I attend where
and they're laughing at you,
company, and people were laughing at me.
See, it's the public humiliation.
That's what made me leave.
It's always what makes us leave.
Yeah. When it was with strangers or somebody that I didn't know very well, it was like, okay, I can get over that. But the moment it was, wait a minute, this has been going on long enough that we've been in public together in rooms where she is and his employees are, and they had to have known, right?
Can I just ask who's feeling that humiliation right now? Because I feel tearful about it. I'm not joking. I'm like, I'm there with you. I am at the Christmas party and I'm like, bitch.
Like, no, I'm like, phew, dodged a bullet. Like,
no, but in the moment of finding out, and I'm like, not the work Christmas party. And then you look at all the colleagues and you're like, that I'm the emotions right here. Like, how can you not connect with that? And if that has been your experience, you know what it feels like. So it's all those days of like the crazy thoughts, like, am I going crazy? Like, why is his boss always calling? Or why has this happened? Or even if you didn't know, you're sensing something, the intuition, and then it's the revelation, the mic drop moment, and it's everybody else that knows or knew.
Right. And I named it before it ever began. Like, I just knew that it was going to happen. And I told him it was going to happen. He's like, what, are you crazy? No, it isn't. I just knew. So it wasn't a surprise that it did. It was the humiliation of it happening publicly enough that
it rocked your world.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed.
Yeah. So that's your sharp end of your offer. That's the point at which it will evoke emotion, memories, enough pain for people to be like, how is she? Even the curiosity of, how are you going to help me get over that? Right? Like, I have to leave. I don't even want to stay. Like, I don't know what's more embarrassing, staying or leaving. Right? But that's so painful, the public humiliation. Yeah. So that's your promise. Now play with that. Don't go away from it. Don't alter it. Don't fall back. Stay with the shame and the public humiliation. Oh, I think Monet's got internet problems.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I can't see
Yeah,
me.
but your camera's gone.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that was brilliant. And the other thing that I'd say is that is another demonstration. Well, that is a demonstration of why the skip step might be your moon, right? Because your promise is the emotion. And if you always loop past the emotional part, how were you ever going to get there to be able to present that as your promise, as your offer?
Right. Yeah. Makes me wonder if what I'm trying to do through my own experience is save her from that emotion, right?
Reliving
Mm-hmm.
the painful emotions. Don't you just love astrology? Who doesn't love astrology? I heard Graham Hancock today saying that everybody needs to get on board with astrology, like the ancients knew what they were doing. We're just like miles ahead, but like, come join us, people. It's true. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So what about your skip step, Monet? Thanks for that, Lois. I think that was really
Geez,
powerful.
I don't know if we had a lot of time left, but I just actually, maybe why I disappeared is I made a little note because we know it's about the emotion, but I've been grappling with Claude. You know, I sent out the question to the people the thing I was supposed to do and I hadn't done until Ask Sherile told me to do it. And even Real Sherile couldn't get me to do it. And that's Real Sherile and Ask Sherile. This is like a thing. And
It's a real thing.
I have gotten about, I sent out 13 and I got back 4 responses, 4 extremely different responses. So in Claude has already said to me, my Claude, your Claude can only take 300 characters. So I find it a
On
little limited.
purpose. Yeah, we
Oh,
had
yeah,
some
thanks.
problems. And so you've got to break your questions down now, people.
Yep. So I throw it back into my Claude, and my Claude's, oh, these are such different people. But fortunately, I'm starting to understand. You know, that's the other thing. I'm starting to understand my own offer. And so let's just take 2 examples of.
Yeah.
I know the one person is definitely not my client, and Claude was saying, but actually only one of these is your client. And I'm like going, no, those other 3 are definitely my client, because the one is saying, well, she sometimes, and I mean, remember, these are executive women sitting in C-suite director roles, and the one's going, I'm not always sure if the confidence, and I'm not always confident, and the self-doubt eats me. My thing is what keeps you up at 2:00 in the morning. And the other one was going, I'm so overconfident. I walk into the boardroom and everybody, like, I'm not going anywhere because I'm shutting everybody out. And then the other lady was going to me, I'm not looking for recognition. And so anyway, long story short, when I threw it into Claude is like going, oh, but actually you have to pick one because none of these are your client. I'm like, they're all my client, because all of them are in, say, the boardroom, and they're all needing to know how to navigate that self-doubt, how to navigate the overconfidence. And the other lady, she says she didn't want the recognition. So she doesn't even know because she never got recognition. So how does she even know? I don't want the recognition. I happen to know this person personally, so I know she never got the recognition. And so it's like, actually, that's the offer. And it's how do you each
Help
one
me
of
understand the thread between all of them, because I'm hearing 3 different buyers.
Yeah,
Right?
and that
So
Claude
help
did
me
the same.
understand.
So there's 3 different buyers, but they have the same problem. They're not advancing any further, whether it is into the boardroom, executive position, or the boardroom, and it's
Right.
based on whatever that. And I get it now. It's that, what is that emotion that I need to find? So I need to go look for that. That's going to be my thing tomorrow. But it's how they need to, my thing is, and you're asking me to find that point, and I haven't yet. But it is about the navigation. It's how to, even if I'm got self-doubt and I'm not sure, how do I navigate that? I'm overconfident. How do I navigate that? I don't actually know if there is something bigger for me. How do I navigate that? And my
Right.
current offer is a little bit around navigation and how do we work through. And, my whole thing is entrepreneurship. So
Yeah.
how do we, spot projects? And I haven't married it all, but I'm
That's
starting to
okay. But here's
see.
the quick
I'm,
question. So, what is the
mm,
common pain that they all share? And I don't mean discomfort, I mean real pain, like unbearable.
is the moving? I don't know yet. I'm being honest here.
Well,
I'm
imagine.
still. Yeah,
What do you
I think it's
think?
the moving forward. I think it's the
That's never a
doors.
pain.
Okay,
What
then
is the pain?
the pain.
Yeah, what are they all suffering with? What is causing them all great pain? Because what you've explained is great, as in these three women all have quite different identities and ego plays, right?
Mm,
That's what you've
mm, mm,
identified, which
mm,
means that there is something that they all have in common that is causing them all to show up in this way, because none of them are actually aligned, none of them are being authentic, none of them have the awareness of self, which is part of the reason they're not moving forward, right? Overconfident, doesn't need recognition, they're all telling lies, right? They're all performing, they're all masked,
Is
right?
it
So
trust? Is it a little bit self trust in to
trust isn't
trust?
really going to cause pain.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There's another pain, because what causes people to perform, right? So they're
Yeah.
afraid
That.
of something.
Mm.
They're not being vulnerable. They're not being authentic. So there's
Well,
a
I think
pain
wait,
there.
yeah, yeah. The one conversation we had, I think the one person is it's the fear of speaking up, and it's interesting because I was both these people. I was the overconfident one, so I have the fear of being shut down because I speak up. The other person has the fear of speaking up
And
because
what's the common fear between both of those?
the common fear is the I'm going throwing out here being noticed, being seen, being judged,
Failure.
being
It's failure. It's the fear of
failure.
failure.
Okay.
So they're all dealing with self-worth issues,
Ah, yeah,
but
yeah,
their
yeah. That
actual
makes sense. Yeah.
pain, the thing that is really gnawing away at them all every day, is their fear of failure. They are not
Mm,
succeeding, they're not achieving. And another thing that I'm hoping we'll have time to address in the challenge is like some of the key motivators around purpose for people. And one of the things that human beings need is achievement. We need to almost like struggle
mm,
or strive towards achievement. Like, this is why people say that the joy is in the journey, right? Because if we don't go through a bit of a struggle, right, there's no real achievement at the end of it. But they've
mm,
given up on the struggle. They're now performing, right? So that I won't struggle anymore. But their ultimate fear is failure. So they've all failed somewhere at some point, and that is causing them a certain level of pain. Now, to be able to go into the deeper individual pain, obviously you'd need to ask more questions,
mm,
right? But
mm,
they
mm,
all have a really, really poignant fear of failure, because they won't show up as themselves.
mm,
And what will not work, just before you go there, is to say to them, be authentic, be
mm,
vulnerable,
mm, mm,
show
mm,
up.
mm, mm,
They're armored up
mm.
for a reason.
Yeah.
And your job is to now figure out what happened, right, that got them
Mm,
armored up to be performing, masking, sending the representative in. And that is why they can't win. So
yeah.
where else
Yeah.
are they lying? Because these are the people where the truth sets them free, but they're afraid of the truth. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
pain
Absolutely.
attached to that fear
Mm,
of the
mm,
truth.
mm.
So if they lie, they've probably been lied to, right? They've been promised things and people didn't deliver. So maybe there is some trust issues in there.
Mm,
But take that back even further, they obviously don't think that they're good enough, right? Because no one's
mm.
shown up as themselves.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Does that
But
resonate?
it does. And yeah, I'm not going to open this can of worms. Yeah, because
Well,
I'm still not coaching, so I'm advisory. So I'm not here to deal. I don't want to deal with your emotional stuff. And I've heard this before. Yes, disappear out of the frame there, Lois.
so here's the question for you then.
Yeah.
Why are you asking this question if you want to be advisory? Because that question inevitably will lead, right, to emotional pain.
Yeah. Well, because I want to give them the tools to move through that scenario. So through the boardroom, through the meeting, through the career.
Were you able to do that without dealing with the emotion?
I saw therapists and I saw coaches. But I would have loved for somebody to show me through the we could have a lot of referral business here, guys. And I would have loved for somebody to show me those through the boardroom, through the office, navigating the office stuff. Yeah, the stuff that was happening with the execs and the CEOs, and that's something I never got. Lot of the other stuff, a lot of the
But here's your
therapists,
positioning.
coaches.
So
Yeah.
here's your positioning, not necessarily your offer, but here's your positioning. You do what the coaches don't do, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your coach has told you, let me help you put it into practice, right?
Yeah.
So you almost start from the position of assuming, we don't want to assume, but there has to be an assumption here that these people are in therapy or they're in coaching, they're doing the emotional work with somebody else, and now you work adjacent to that.
Yeah.
So you must mention that,
Yeah.
right, in your positioning, in your offer, and go from emotional to practical or logistical or whatever terminology you're using to make sure you're getting people who are dealing with the emotional stuff. Otherwise, that will land in your lap.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Claude said exactly the same thing. He said your client is somebody who's in therapy, done coaching, done this, done that, done that. But it's not helping them navigate that boardroom. It's not helping them navigate
Different
that
skill
career,
set, you're right.
that shitty boss. So this is somebody who, so it's a completely different skill set.
Yeah.
And they think that that's the thing is going to fix this thing, and it's going to fix you and maybe how you show up. I'm not saying it's not, but we're going with I've got a real methodology, like you say, we're building the bridge. And like a real methodology that's grounded in entrepreneurship that shows you how to navigate the projects and how to navigate people and how to navigate through that situation.
Yeah.
That's interesting listening. Like yours is totally situational navigation, where mine is relational navigation, right? With self and with others. Yours is you want to get that proposal or win that proposal or, make this transition. I can help you through that exact thing where I'm like, well, let's go fix the identity.
So we would be able to refer people to each other.
Yeah. So your positioning is definitely like after the coaching, what your therapist doesn't know, right? Or whatever it is. But it is like, so the pain then is a lack of awareness, right? Nobody taught you how to navigate the boardroom. There are no books that give you the subtle steps you need to take to blah, blah, blah. So you're almost presenting a bit of a Robert Greene approach, right? He's trying to give you the power, the mastery, the practical steps, and is assuming that if you don't understand what he's talking about, you've got somebody else to speak to, or you can Google it, right? And you should use language like that. So you should say, if you don't have a therapist, now might be a good time to get one. If you've never been through coaching, I suggest you do that before you work with me, right? literally point people to
Mm.
and do the emotional labor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But here's what I will do is I'll get you across the bridge, right? Or climb the ladder, whatever terminology you're using, to do the strategic work, the technical, the logistical, the situational.
I hear
And
executive presence when you talk. Like you're
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
helping them develop executive presence.
And it's interesting what you're saying, because Claude says that I have been struggling, and it's very part of the skip step, because not that I don't think what I do is new, or I'm sure there's many people that do it, but Claude was saying that he thinks a lot of people think coaching will also do that, and it won't. You know,
you've got to tell
it's
them
yeah.
that's your
And so,
marketing.
mm, mm, mm,
It's not your
yeah,
offer, it's your marketing.
yeah.
Coaching won't do this. Your
Mm,
therapist
mm.
doesn't know this.
And yes, and also then, so that's why Claude and I were struggling. Look, the fourth person is definitely not my client, because she was struggling with debtors or something. I'm like, okay, well, struggle away. But
Yeah.
the other three were definitely, material. But I mean, how do you go from I lack self-confidence and self-doubt to I'm overconfident? Like, how do you sell to those two people? So you'll have to speak that language. You'll have to speak a doubt, lack of confidence, and you'll have to speak the overconfidence, and the right person is going to see you. But it's, yeah, so it's almost like you're going to have to, in your marketing, talk all of this language, and the right
No,
person sees you. Okay, yeah,
no.
then tell
That's
me,
your skip
because it is,
step where
that
you
is
over stuff,
confusing.
overcomplicate, and you want to do
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much, right? So you don't speak any emotional language because that's all emotional. What you do is you step over that. You're allowed to skip this step and you speak to, here's the strategy you need. If you're still struggling with emotions, identity, etc., get a coach, get a therapist, but I'm here to help you figure out the laws of executive growth. Like, think Robert Greene. It is Robert Greene, isn't
Mm.
it?
Yeah.
I've no
48
idea.
Laws of
Okay.
Power, right?
Okay, I have to go look it
Go
up.
watch some of his videos.
Mm.
You need to be in that vein
Okay.
where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you the 12 rules of executive growth. I don't care about your emotions. And you should say that.
Mhm.
Don't even hint at it. Don't even pretend to understand. Definitely don't use any emotional language because you're getting the wrong people and you're not here to do the emotional labor. So you want to
Mm,
almost
mm,
like alienate anybody and say, if you're looking for a coach to help you elevate your career, they
Call
can't
Lois.
do that.
I'll fix that
Lois,
part and send it back to you.
you're supposed to say they can't do
thank you.
that.
What did you send them
God, Lois, that timing was perfect. Um, but yeah,
that?
it's like if you are dealing with emotions, if you're dealing with, I don't know, self doubt, if you're dealing whatever they've said, get a coach or a therapist. If what you want to do is get a seat at the table, advance to the boardroom, follow my 12 steps to career success or whatever.
Mm,
Make it really simple, really directional, almost like you're
mm,
signposting, right? Like, I don't care how you feel on a Monday morning. I don't care how much you're worrying on a Sunday night. Get your shit together. We're going to the boardroom, is your
mm.
approach,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you do want to use emotional language, you're going to be like, self doubt,
Mm.
lots of worry, not in need of recognition, get a therapist. Don't come to me. Because what I'm here to do is, so you know, those people that go, if you're looking for blah, 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 keep scrolling because I'm not that. That's your
Yeah,
approach.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Mm,
So their pain is a lack of knowledge, then. It's just a lack of awareness. They don't know what
yeah,
they don't know.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah,
They've
and they
never
think that,
played those games.
and my whole thing, but I do post about this. The whole thing is like, well, people think if they work harder, they'll get in, and no, that's not going to get you in. Working harder, it's going to
But the
exhaust
thing
you.
is, that's a little bit soft.
Mm. Yeah, I am being very soft because skip step.
No, you've got a rage bait. I'm
Okay,
serious.
rage
You've
bait.
got to be really hard.
Mm.
Go look at some Robert Greene. You've got to rage bait. How to seduce your boss, like, because he does seduction. How to master the corporate ladder. Go look at his work, adopt some of that language. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. It's not plagiarism, it's influence and inspiration, right? But
Mm,
he
mm,
is very direct and very clear on seduction, mastery, laws of power. That's what you're talking about. So you must use those words.
mm. Yeah.
Working hard, they're going to have to work hard anyway. If they're climbing the corporate ladder, hard work is part of it. So it
Mm.
almost wouldn't resonate with them. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, 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 yeah,
They're
yeah,
going to be
yeah. Because
like,
they think,
what? But if you're going to give them the secret laws of how to seduce your boss, how to get that last seat at the table, how to climb into the boardroom, I don't know what your terminology is. You've got to make it sound like power games, like chess, like all strategy, all logistics, like
Very,
get
very
some real
masculine.
masculine, hard language, the
mm,
opposite of emotion. And
mm,
then you're going to attract people who are like, yeah, like they want the strategies. They're ready to play chess. Like, and if they're ready to play chess, they've probably done a lot of emotional work. They
mm,
probably have
mm,
got
mm,
themselves to a place where they're ready to attack the next part of their career. It
mm,
sounds like some of the people that have got back to you aren't even ready for what you've got, to be honest.
mm. No. And Claude's been giving me a lot of flack because I actually specifically, I want to talk about, you need to have a career strategy. Like, what is your strategy? Let's go. And Claude's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 people are not going to stand that.
Yeah,
And I
but
was
you've
like,
got to tell Claude what Claude's job
mm,
is.
yes,
Claude's
yeah.
got the wrong opinion. But when you start to explain, as in, like, you've got to say to Claude, my clients have done the emotional work, they have a therapist, they have a coach, but coaches and therapists can't do what I do. I am a career strategist. So even when you're
Mm,
talking about entrepreneurship, what does that mean to people who have never
mm,
heard that term or have heard it loosely?
mm,
Right? If
mm,
you're a career strategist, if you're a career power broker, if what you do is help people kick down doors and take a seat at the table, hi, Ankara, waving. It's a whole different kettle of fish, right?
mm, mm,
When you start speaking to Claude like that, Claude will start spitting that language back out at you. At the moment, it's soft because of the emotional embrace.
mm. Yeah, you're
So
right.
even though
That's
you
the
don't want to do the
missing.
emotional labor, you're embracing the
Yeah, the what?
emotions or
Yeah.
the
Hi,
emotional people.
Momo.
Can you see him?
Hi, Momo.
Hello,
Yes,
that
we
way.
can. We're not taking you for a walk. Yeah, no, I hear you, and that has been the issue, and yeah, it feels great to hear it out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can draw a line. It's actually a much easier offer to
Mm,
create. And now, if you go back to Ask Sherile, where it's like, who's your customer? And you can say, my client, she's got a coach, she's got a therapist, she's doing the emotional labor somewhere else. What I do is very streamlined. Like, I'm giving her the tools, the strategies, the steps to get into the boardroom. The women that are performing and masking, they're not ready for that because they
mm,
can't even
mm.
show up as themselves.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have the grit even to kick down that door.
Mm,
Another fun author to read to get into that mindset is Tim Glover. He was the
Yeah.
coach for Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and like Tiger Wood, not Tiger Woods. He has commentary about Tiger in there in the situation that happened, but his he is so direct and so like you can't
Plain.
win at the level that they won at and care
Mm.
about anything else. Right. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
some really good books out. Relentless. You can read either one, but
Yeah.
just to get in that mindset of how he talks to people is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great. Yeah.
interesting. He came up today on the same podcast with Graham Hancock because his
Oh.
dad was also a surgeon, like Graham Hancock's. Go listen to the latest episode of Diary CEO. But basically, they both had these dads who were surgeons that exposed them to like dissecting bodies at really young ages. And Tim Glover like has nightmares about it. And Graham Hancock doesn't have nightmares, but is like, it was wild. I had this crazy dad and like, you know, how it affected them. But
Mhm.
isn't it interesting that he's come up? So that's a really good, I agree, that is a really good option for you. So entrepreneurship from a coaching perspective, I genuinely think that you have to completely eliminate the emotional landscape. You've got to go real masculine. I don't know how you feel about that, but
That's
you've
me.
got to now really
I don't like the
clearly
emotions.
identify your
Yeah.
customer,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
buyer.
Yeah.
Because she has to
Yeah.
be fully in her own power to be an entrepreneur in the corporate space because she's going to butt up against so
You
much
know,
opposition.
yeah, how many women I talk to, women and men, and I explain the concept, and it's like a mind blow. Like they've never thought about it, heard it. People think that this stuff should come naturally. It's like you can learn this. You can learn to do this. Like, let me show
Yeah.
you. And they're like, well, their minds are blown. And they're like, oh, I thought you naturally are a CEO or a exec or like it's just going to come naturally to you. Like, no, it's not. Not even an MBA can give you half of this stuff, really.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it's like over there, but I know here in the States, like the thought of coaching, it's getting better now, but we never heard about it until we hit almost C-suite. Like we didn't know that all of the C-suite members have coaches.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know that when you're down in the ranks struggling
Yeah.
to make the climb. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, no wonder, right? Because they all do. Like they have astrologers, they have psychics, they have coaches.
Yeah.
They have all of that.
Yeah.
Astrologers.
So
They do.
those, if that's the level, like you're probably going to have to get up to that level to find the clients that aren't doing the emotional part, right?
Yeah. That have that already in
Already
their
in place.
yeah. Yeah. But it's not the women that are armored up. So they're not your clients.
Yeah.
Those three, they are not actually your clients. In fact, they are anti-client.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are confusing your offer because you want to help them. Right.
Look, I reached out to random people, and some of them I knew and some of them I didn't know. So they're definitely not my clients. I just wanted to know what was keeping them up at night.
Yeah.
And but that did give me valuable information.
Yeah. So it's almost like understanding that then leads you to almost like go in the complete opposite direction of those women, because they are all masking and performing and hiding. None of them are sovereign, none of them in their inner authority, and almost using the complete wrong language for you. So I think one of your first steps is figuring out language for your promise, because your promise, the pointy end of your promise is going to be, are you ready to kick the doors down? Right? Do you want the power moves? Are you ready to strategize your way into the boardroom? It's like, you know, you need a coach or therapist? Keep scrolling. I'm not her.
Well,
Just
for me, it's
really
up or out.
dismissive almost.
Yeah. So for me, it's up or out, because if you're not moving where you are, get out and go somewhere where you are, where you can.
But that doesn't communicate anything.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, for
Okay.
me, it's like we either have a strategy to move you up, and if there's a block, then we need to move you out. Then you need to go somewhere where
But what
you
is your
can.
promise then?
Well, yeah. can I work on some of these things? Do I have to have all the answers tonight?
Don't want to put you on the
The challenge
spot,
doesn't
Renee.
start until next week. Why is she being so pressured?
Don't do the work right now. Like, it's fine. But I just want to get
on
into
money
it.
yet.
I'm like,
I haven't even gotten to money.
I've got all the ideas flowing. But yeah, so they are your anti-client, and that's okay, because now you know who to avoid. Emotional, not vulnerable, not ready to stand in their truth, their power, not sovereign, on their way there, but not even aware that they're not there.
But it's also a lot like it's me in a way, because I mean you know the story, but Claude was asking me, and interesting enough, another friend was asking me, when did you decide to leave? I said, the minute the CEO said to me, where do you see yourself in the business? And I was like, oh my God, you have no idea the value I have. It's like, I need to teach people about this. It's like, I'm out of here. That's the moment I made the decision. Yeah, like, and that's the kind of place I want to meet women where they're going, you're an idiot.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
No, that's not where they are. Because they're not leaving, they're taking her job. This is why
okay.
your thinking is a little bit disordered around this. And this is why I get it, because I'm your client technically, but I'm just not in corporate anymore. I did the things that you're teaching people to do. I took the CEO's job. I outmaneuvered them. You want me all day long.
You're making it sound so horrible. It doesn't have to be that horrible.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
It's aggressive. It's not nice. It's not soft. We take no prisoners. To get into the boardroom in a company that is doing things and take on a role that matters, there's no soft play area. None. It's very aggressive. It's very down and dirty. It's very sharky. It's getting in the office at 6 a.m. to steal other people's leads, to steal their team members, to like get into their contracts and see if you can listen. And that's not me. That's the other guy doing that. And me finding out he did that, and then me outmaneuvering him. Right? It's like that is what it is. And that's why you have to look at Tim Glover, Robert Greene, but also you might not even have that woman in your network to ask questions to.
No, I don't.
And if you want to be in the advisory role and not doing the emotional labor, it's me. You want to advise me?
You're not on LinkedIn.
She might not be on LinkedIn.
I'm just saying. If she's
on LinkedIn, she might not be following you or responding to your messages. Like, she is like top level diva. Like, I'm not on LinkedIn and I'm not working on LinkedIn because I don't have to. Like, and no one's going to see my next move. So it won't be on LinkedIn. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like you have to either rethink your offer and methodology if you think your client is somebody else, and maybe she doesn't want what you think you're offering, right? Because now she's a couple of rungs down, or you go and do the work to meet me where I was when I left corporate. And if she's on LinkedIn, it's like my current LinkedIn. It's just for show, just to let you know that I do this thing. I'm not active on LinkedIn. Nobody knows my next move. You got to meet me in real life to know where I'm going and what I'm doing next.
Nobody updates their LinkedIn until they're ready to get another job. Really. Unless they're in a position where they just want to stay and build a brand.
Yeah.
So who you're working with on LinkedIn is people that have been made redundant, people that are looking for another job. Is that what your advisory offers?
No. And actually, most of my connections are coaches, and yeah.
So they're your referral network. Okay.
Those are the people who live on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So that's your referral network. They're not your clients then. So now we're rethinking. right? Who your client actually is. And maybe the discovery around who your client is then shapes your offer. Because I don't think you found her yet.
No, I have but yeah, I think it's more the seniors looking to get into C-suite directorship. Those are there. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, we're going to do some more work as we go through the challenge. Because I can see like that we're kind of speaking at odds just a little bit. Because you seem to be a little bit concerned at the level of aggression that I'm talking about. But I don't believe that who you're talking about would hire you. I think she'd get a career coach.
What do you mean who I'm talking about?
So you're talking about somebody who wants to get into C-suite? Yeah? Who's on LinkedIn? Who's like,
well, I haven't
just want
even
to
thought
climb
about where.
the next rung?
I think we are talking past each other because I haven't even spoken yet about where the client is. I mean,
So what did
I
you
haven't
just
even.
say then? You just said something about
Anyway.
C-suite or something.
They professionals who are wanting they are in an executive position and they want to get into C-suite or directors positions. Yeah.
Right, that's your client. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So they are quite aggressive then.
Okay.
They are. Am I? No?
Yeah. But I think I don't want to have this conversation on here because remember, I'm also
Okay.
in the Gulf and I work with people of minorities and there's Indian and Emirati and it's not always, they're not like that. You're thinking of Americans and UK and
Like Western rather than Middle Eastern.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's another conversation.
Interesting. So
It
now it's
is.
the cultural thing.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That,
There's women who didn't always have a place at they didn't even have a seat, let alone a door to go
They don't even know
in.
what it looks like.
Nope.
Maybe. Okay. I see. Okay. That is a little bit different. But
Yeah.
that's why we're doing the challenge, so that we can figure out all the little details and get a real read on it. That's going to be really interesting. I think we're all going to learn a lot from that, because the cultural
Because
differences are a big deal. It's okay, Mo. I'm wrapping up. We're going to go for a walk. Honest.
anyway, awesome.
My
That was
master.
a great
My
session.
master. Good timing, Momo.
Yeah.
Yes. But okay. Right. Well, the challenge, the enrollment has started today. So if anybody is wondering about their skip step, if anybody, I think my internet's gone now. If anybody's wondering about whether their offer could do with some tweaking or changing, or if there's something that they don't understand, I think if you're out here and you just want to attract clients, bring your old clients back. If you are thinking about launching something new or your next offer, it's definitely worth joining the 5-day challenge. It's going to be a little bit intensive. Everything is run through the app. There will be like live Zoom sessions each day for 5 days. But the essence of the challenge is the skipped step. It's bringing into awareness that thing that creates the loop, that creates the pattern, that has us going so far and bouncing back to square one and not being able to have that breakthrough and go to the next level. And so, you can enroll now. There are posts on my Substack Beyond the Veil, and there is now a mini section, which is the purpose code. And it's £97 for a few more days. Enrollment opens today, so you'll get straight into the challenge panel in the app where you'll do the prep. And the app will take you through your skipped steps so you can start figuring out what it is that you've been doing that has prevented you from experiencing the success that you feel like within your soul that you should be having. And even clearing up some of the confusion that we've been talking about, right? So we could debate these things for days and weeks and months and years and still not get to where we want to get to. Whereas with the power of astrology, which is what powers the purpose code, you can, I was going to say that within a few hours, but I don't know, there's a debate that might go on for a few days.
Some of us are on the slow train.
But in much quicker, like in a faster or shorter time frame, figure that out. But I think the thing that is most important is that this is about self-awareness. It's about learning about ourselves. It's about knowing what we don't know. And once you know and understand, you'll never not know it again. And it informs the way you move forward in the future. So it's going to be really exciting. Lots of conversations like this with lots of people who are founder owners. There might be some referrals in there for you, like Lois and Monet have already figured out their referral system. Just like that. But yeah, it's a great group. We've already got a few people enrolled and the conversation's already happening. And I'm just really excited to guide people through the skipped step and how to decode your offer. So yeah. And if you haven't downloaded the purpose code, why? Like, it's free to download. Just download it. Have a play with it.
You just
I did some more work on it today.
Said you got a new joiner.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Amazing. I'm not paying attention. Sorry,
He's so sick of me talking about it. So
yeah, get on the purpose code. So the link is on my Substack posts. And it's free to join, and you will get your purpose archetype. You'll get a daily prompt with insights. Momo, stop it. With insights that help you to go deeper. And then, of course, there is the Ask Sherile function, which is running all of our lives at this point. And if you upgrade to experience the love and money tabs, you get unlimited access to the Ask Sherile function, which is fantastic. And it's just £89 for the year. It is in pounds, UK pounds, which translates to like 100 and something dollars. But that gives you full unlimited access for the whole year. So please join us all in the purpose code revolution. It's really a lot of fun. I know I wrote that app, but I'm not even joking. Like, the conversations are amazing. The insights are great. And yeah, please join us. It's great fun.
Yes.
So anything you'd like to say, ladies, as we close?
Me?
Final last words for this evening. We will be back in the week. I think we're back tomorrow with another guest, and probably most days this week. So, and if anybody would like to join us on a call, please message me via Substack. Like, let's just have conversations. Let's just talk about purpose and meaning, and get lots of people talking about this. It's important for all of us, that we all get the meaning of our life patterned and get us all moving forward. So yeah, sorry, I'll give you two ladies the last word now. I'm going to shut up.
I would just say, like, I have done so much work, and this is making me go so much deeper than I've ever gone before. So I think it's incredible. And I love the astrology aspect wound into it to, I don't know, it just adds a layer of validation that I didn't know I was looking for, I think. So
that's a good point.
Yes. So for me, I've been circling around my offer for 18 months. And so this is, in the last 4 days, is the closest I've gotten to anything that makes any sense to me. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's neat. Yeah.
So the purpose code is living up to its purpose. I just think this just feels quite magical. And I just want to say that, like, as much credit as I'm taking for it, it was mostly downloaded, right? And I keep promising to share that story, and I think I'm going to share it in the challenge. Because I don't know
Nice.
that I'm sharing it on Substack, just out here,
Mm.
like in these streets, talking about like how I downloaded a whole
Mm.
app. But here's the thing, not only is it true, but I just wonder who else is having similar experiences and just not recognizing that that is what's happening,
Mm.
right? Because so many of us are super intuitive. And if somebody doesn't either give you permission or recognition, you might be just like moving past your next big opportunity because you downloaded it in a dream or while driving or do you know what I mean? Like, I definitely downloaded this whole thing. I'm just saying. So I think I'm going to talk about that in the challenge. And yes, that is, what's that called? Clickbait or something. Something. But I think it's a story worth telling, but I'm going to tell it in the appropriate place. But yeah, so thanks ever so much, guys, for joining us. This was a great conversation. Thanks, Lois. Thanks, Monet. And
Thank you.
yeah, hope to see some people tomorrow.
Right.
All right. Have a good
Bye.
evening, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.